Welcome and hello and welcome and hello, guys. Hello and welcome. With my continued upgrades and production values here at Unpoco Moss, I added a boom arm so I could actually see the comments on the small monitor. And I don't know if anybody can hear me, but let me know if the sound is worse, better, or you're just completely indifferent because your portfolio is getting completely thrashed. So you don't really give a flying fuck about Un Poco Moss. And I would completely understand that sentiment, guys. It is me, it is I, Tabasco Rojas, former Montreal Expos reliever, one third of an inning pitched in my career ERA, right around 300. Anyway, they call me Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo. They call me Cornbread because I am moist, I am doughy, and I crumble under pressure. Guys, let me just put up this absolute bloodbath here. We're seeing SOFI down like $4, 12%. The overall market is down, of course. NASDAQ is down 2%. Probably a lot of options. I haven't really looked carefully at options. I looked earlier in the week. There was a significant volume. This is kind of when you have to look for the setup. Everybody turned positive all of a sudden. So it's at all-time highs. You have LaPointe dumping like $15 million worth of stock in this weird forward contract, tiny wang. I don't think the stock's going up anymore type of situation. Like if you've ever seen those, really small cocktail wieners they serve at parties, it's that type of situation. But quite frankly, I'm buying today. I bought a little bit early. I bought when it dipped under 29. I wish I'd have waited a little bit. Picked up quite a few shares, but I might buy again here. Just depends. I don't know. The stock dropping 12% on the day. There's no real reason for it. I guess the reason is I think people perceive a lot of weakness in the overall economy. Part of it is just profit taking from the huge run. I think part of it is swing traders and earnings report traders just giving up. And then I think the bulk of it is just price fixing. I mean, there's a couple of interesting volume is high for this, like 71 million shares already. So that's already the average volume. It's you sort of see little hiccups where they're buying throughout, but it just continues to drop. And there's been a faction, I mean, the price fixing mafia, whatever you want to call them, there's been a faction just relentlessly selling the stock. So you could sort of feel the stock trying to break out. But there were, dark forces just stepping on our testicles with a big clown shoe, big obese clown, big obese Shaquille O'Neal clown shoes, just working over my Apple bag today violently. But that's the way it is, guys. I mean, again, I didn't see a big deal with the retracement to 25. It's like 20% retracement for me is nice and healthy and bullish. I don't like to see 40%, 50% drop. It means there's not people taking profits. There's not sort of the normal mechanics of short-term to long-term. That means they're just people just dumping in mass, which you don't want to see. I don't know. This price action just doesn't worry me that much. It feels like they're going over the same old ground and they still haven't found, enough sellers to make this work. Now, I guess what does frighten me a bit is the fact that they're willing to dump this many shares to drive the price. I don't believe they're just, everybody decided to take profits at once, or everybody got terrified of this drop at once. If you've been in SoFi long enough, you've seen enough of these days where, the market's just a bit red, or this is pretty red. I mean, 2.5%, it continues to drop. I think people are worried there's not going to be a rate cut. I think people are worried about in Washington, they can't even keep the government open, much less have an adult conversation about debt. Nothing functions in Washington. There's nobody it feels like there's no adults in the room sort of doing the work of the people trying to keep everything on track. It's just a lot of, cut rates, pump the stock market. As long as the stock market's good, everything's good. And I think it's just masking a tremendous amount of pain and weakness in the real economy. You see car repossessions, delinquencies and credit cards. They're not affecting SoFi as much because they just have a really high, standard in terms of credit quality. I know in a couple of years ago, their credit card business was a shambles in terms of delinquency rates and stuff, but they've gotten all that sort of sorted out. It was kind of a minuscule, product line at that point. I think they've got it under control. I know it's still probably worse than industry average, but come on, they're pretty new at this. But yeah, guys, I mean, with a 12% discount, this stock came into the recent earnings report, of course, at $32 or $31 pre-market. So, now you're a full like 10% off just that level. Um, I don't know. I just see so many reasons to buy this stock and really not that many reasons to sell it. Even if you're going into a down economy, and even if you're going into a recession, I feel like SoFi is a lot better buy than a lot of the other fintechs. It's more diversified, it's more stable, it has the deposit base, it has the national bank charter, it owns all its own technology. It's not like there's going to be fallout from a bunch of vendor relationships because there are no, there of course are vendor relationships, Expedia and, life insurance and many others. I know there are, but I'm saying the core of their business, they own everything. It's not based on just paying a fee to some other company to offer something to their clients. That's like the contrast I drew between Hood and SoFi. Hold on, guys. I got to take this. I'll be right back with you. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little business to attend to. Anyway, yeah, I just this is like SoFi. I mean, this is one of those stocks where it's just complete extreme reactions. If the market's down 1%, SoFi's down 6%. This is like the old days, but I think they're very comfortable attacking the stock from above 30. Just it is a rich valuation given the multiples you see today. But all of the assumptions, going forward that I've seen, most of the analysts are looking at a CAGR over the next 5 years in the mid-teens. And if that number is actually 30, think about how far off those assumptions are. And if you can't see now that SoFi is rapidly entering technology space, crypto space, blockchains, worldwide remittance, I see so many things on the horizon that nobody's even talking about. Think about how big just small business banking. Think about how many SoFi members are already entrepreneurs, content creators, tiny wang U-turders, with plain unbranded baseball caps. It's like, I never taught at the high school level, guys. I never taught at the high school level. I'm just a scrappy upstart, from Schenectady, New York, coming out here west to Hollywood with a tiny wing and a dream, trying to make it happen as best I could. God bless me with short, fat legs and a quick wit. If you're a fat guy without a quick wit and a sense of humor, you're in trouble. I like saying quit with that H sound like Stewie and Family Guy. What are you talking about? I'm not saying Will Wheaton any sort of way. I love Stewie. I love Family Guy. So I remind myself of Peter Griffin. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Got this damn boom arm. Like a big schlang right in your face. Yeah, it reminds you of college a little bit. Got a big boom arm. Like you ever pledged a fraternity? You get a giant boom in your face. Oh, it's so weak. It's like, dude, I thought this was we were drinking and picking up chicks. No, you got to see our wiener. It's not gay though. No, of course not. Nothing gay about fraternities. Nothing gay about men's fitness magazines either. Not gay, but I'm extremely gay friendly and I do like to party. Let's just say, yeah, I mean, SJ, I not only would, I have been doing that. Like when I just pretended to get a phone call, I might have been buying calls off the bottom. Yeah, I would be comfortable buying some 30s again. I don't recommend you guys buy the weeklies. I would much rather you buy some calls 6 months or a year out. I know you don't get the same type of leverage because SJ, we all want to get rich quick. We've all got, tiny wings and bills to pay and dreams of a used recreational vehicle where we're gonna, cook meth with Jesse Pinkman in our underwear. We've all been there, guys. It's a tale as old as time, a song as old as rhyme. But yeah, I think it has to move up. I think it's a loaded spring again because who do you have? Who is there in the pantheon of SoFi stock owners? So you have retarders, and yes, some of us are getting stomped out. Some of us are weak sauce turds with tiny wings, and we're just dumping right into the hands of these guys. We have stop losses at 30, then stop losses at 29, and then stop losses at 28, and they just continue to abuse us and stop us out. Um, you know, there's that camp. There's that sort of tribe where it's just you're going to just give them what they want. You're just going to give them your lunch money immediately. You're going to buy both those runs. See the runs over 32 yesterday. They did it at open and they did it at close just to draw you in, just to see if you'd buy that top. And you did. And there's no problem buying that top at 32. It's not a problem at all. The problem is then you set a stop. You set a trailing 10% stop loss to be prudent. And then you get stopped out at 29 because you're an asshole. You're a hopeless asshole who feeds the machine and you lose money every single year. And you should not be buying and picking stocks because you buy hype, you buy FOMO, and then you just sell, you just dump at a loss because you suck. And you're the reason they can manipulate these things so readily, so conveniently, so easily. What you should be doing is just knuckle up, son. Knuckle up. Have you heard that song by Stu Stone and Jamie Kennedy featuring Bob Saget? Rest in peace. Didn't Bob Saget die? Am I wrong? I hope I'm wrong because he's funny as hell, dude. Bob Saget's stand-up, he's filthy. He's funny. Funny stand-up. I thought he passed away, but I'm always wrong about who passed away. If he did, rest in peace. If you're still alive, respect. Anyway, guys, put on the song by Jamie Kennedy and Stu Stone, Knuckle Up, because that's what you got to do in these situations. It's gut check time. Nobody wants to see a 12%, especially if you own as much SoFi as I do. SoFi's past Tesla, it's past Google, it's past everything for me except Microsoft. And Microsoft's been dropping like a rock. And it was down under 500 a couple of times. Easy buy. Easy buy, easy as pie. So anyway, just here's a data point. Yeah, I know how you guys love data points. Look at the institutional ownership. Look at this. What do you see? Massive spike. Massive spike. Who's dumping? It's mechanics, it's price fixers, but I don't see how they're dumping this many shares. and the short's not going up. I mean, look at this, guys. This was just, 600,000. This jumped at least, 55,000 month over month. I'm just eyeballing it, like measuring my wang. It's about eight. About eight. I'm rounding off. You're rounding up. You're adding a head and a base that's just not there. It's an imaginary head you're adding, imaginary head and a half. Coming in about 4.2. No, that's eight. Again, honey, you're looking at centimeters. It's not what we're doing here. It's like trying to weigh yourself on the moon and measure your weighing in decimeters or something. What about hectares? What if we use Kelvin, degrees Kelvin? That's temperature. 0 degrees Kelvin, your wing would be even smaller than it is, dear. Oh, that's unfortunate. What if I go in the sauna for a long time, really heat it up? Well, you think it'll puff up to 8? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely that bad Oscar is going to double. Anyway, guys, Short Wang Blues. It's a sad song. Anyway, Payush, we knew you were buying the dip. We had no question about that. But I just want to leave this chart up there for a minute because this is really all that matters. You can see just this beautiful straight line from these kind of lows we had in all through late 2022 through mid 2023. After that point, I mean, they only own, you 300, what is that? 320,000, 315,000 shares. So since that time, institutional ownership has more than doubled. But once institutions own 80% of this thing, it's going to be $50. It's going to be S&P 500 inclusion. It's going to be crypto, blockchain coming out your wazoo. And you're going to be sitting there, and then Anthony Noto's like, hey, we're going to be $1 trillion company now. It's not just a top 10 financial. That would make them like the top 1 financial institution. I don't know. JP Morgan might be $1 trillion, but I don't think so. What are they, like 800 billion market cap or something? Noto's got ambition. I'll give him that. He's got chutzpah. He's got ganas, like Lou Diamond Phillips and Stand and Deliver. What's called gulas? Anyway, guys. So I don't know. There's just so much bullish stuff on the horizon that I don't really think is in guidance. And then I don't think small business banking, I think that's going to come. I mean, what's really stopping that is just regulatory approvals. They've already built the infrastructure. It seems crazy not to offer like small business checking that you just integrate with your app. I mean, they've got to be working on that. They said they were working on it at least a year ago. I remember a comment. I think it might have actually been, the no longer with us, Mr. Clean out in Utah. Might have been him who was talking about it. But anyway, when they released that, I think it's just a layup. It's just an absolute layup. There's nothing new about it. I mean, I have business checking accounts with Chase and Bank of America, and I have personal checking accounts with Bank of America and Chase. I have tons of bank accounts, guys. I run a lot of different businesses for a lot of different clients. So, it doesn't make me some kind of big shot. It's just a big pain in the ass, just paying a lot of gas bills. Hey, can't we get set up on Zelle? No. I'm 89 years old. I'm going to die soon. I'm not doing Zelle. Write the fucking check, fat boy. Like, all right. And is there any way I could drive all the way to your fucking remote house to get you to sign it because you don't trust me after working for you for 20 years to sign a fucking check for a goddamn gas bill, you old fucking bastard. Guys, this is a hypothetical situation. Not talking about my best client. Anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful day. But here's the thing, guys. Ultimately, the stock's going to break down 30 and go up. You can see it in the institutional ownership. You can see it in the fact that the short is largely fallen apart. I mean, and to that end, let's take a look at this, because who's shorting this thing in from where? Okay. funds shorting SoFi, and then just put it in order of, how many shares they have. So SquarePoint, 18 million shares last quarter. This is an older filing. They increased by 600% from $15. Most of these biggest shorts are from 13, 14, 10, 9, 17. I mean, Bank of Montreal, probably the most successful, but now, of course, they're reshorting to try to salvage this position, but they can't change the fact that SoFi is absolutely crushing the ball out of the park and hitting a grand slam home run on the ER. And I talked a lot about surface water. I talked a lot about order of operations. If you're going to solve an equation, you have to do the order of operations correctly. You can't just go, oh, I know how to do that part. I'm going to do that part first, because it gets all jumbled up. Noto said he got angry. He's like, do I look like somebody who gets out of bed and doesn't know what has to be done? Or do I look like somebody who know what has to be done and just chooses not to do it? Just shirks my responsibility to my shareholders, to myself, to my family, to my country, God Almighty, to my unacknowledged fat son, Cornbread, who's holding it down with his new boom arm. Haven't added any thing to this production in a long time. But yeah, they just keep pushing this thing down. I mean, somebody's willing to sell all these shares, short all these shares. I guess here's the thing. Psychologically, if you have a giant short position from 13, are you going to really be that afraid, to short more at 32 or 30 or even 28? It's like psychologically, if your average cost on a stock is $20 and then the stock falls to $8, you're going to feel very confident about buying it, right or wrong. You shouldn't feel that way, because maybe it's worth $3 and you were just an idiot to buy it at $20, or maybe something has fundamentally changed. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? This boom arm is kind of freaking me out because I'm used to grabbing the little mic stand here like a proper DJ. Hey, everybody, it's Wax Stacks, the best on racks. Play y'all the best of the 80s and 90s. And today, if you're listening to your radio, turn the knob up and break it off. Anyway, guys, I was never a DJ overnights. Definitely never worked in lower levels of radio. Worst business in the world, guys, radio. Absolute bunch of crazy narcissist, drug addict, psychopaths. I fit right in. Anyway, guys. Oh yeah, what else was I going to show you? So institutional ownership, all-time high by far, running away. Fund sentiment score, what are hedge funds doing? 92 out of 100. It's about as high as it can get. Put call ratio, options volume has increased, but overall the ratio of puts to calls is still basically the same as it has been. Jane Street opening up a new position, 65 million shares last quarter. What are the biggest shareholders doing? I mean, Vanguard, they just filed the other day, 6% increase, 107 million shares. Vanguard is the 800-pound gorilla of the market. I don't care who's walking this thing down. They're doing so with Vanguard's blessing, permission, and with their sort of, I don't know. I'm not saying Vanguard is doing anything actively, but Vanguard could certainly slam the door on any of this activity if they wanted, as could any of these major players. All they have to do is say, hey, we're willing to buy, so many millions of shares down here in the 28s, and just call your bluff. And they would just blow this whole thing out of the water. But that's not how market makers work, because the call is coming from inside the house. The shorts are off in the longs. Different trading desks and divisions of different companies are doing different things. Their different teams are running different scams to pick your pocket. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, big dummy. Anyway, so what are the filings telling us? I mean, Jane Street not only bought 65 million shares, but increased their calls. UBS increased their call 91%. Geode, another monster, increased. This is a recent filing, actually. This is yesterday. This is big, guys. Geode increased last quarter. You'd think they'd be selling. The stock just quadrupled, right, in the last quarter. Everybody should be dumping, but nobody's dumping. So where does the price action come from? That's why I believe this is all an artificial fugazi, and mechanics do it. Because why? I mean, the simple answer is they do not want us owning 40, 35 or 40% of the company when they run this thing up to 100 and give it the tech multiple. Oh, when they own the whole company, all of a sudden, Yahtzee, what do you know? It is a tech company. It does deserve a tech multiple. Once we get rid of the fat retarders, the illegitimate sons of certain executives, then we're going to run the thing up. But we're not going to let retail wet their beak like Don Finucci. Just want to wet your beak. Just want to taste, not share, just a taste. Anyway, guys, I got to wrap this thing up. One sec. I'll be right back. I'm going to wrap it up, but all right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. So where was I? I don't know. Let me read a few of your comments and then we'll wrap this turd up because I'm tired of listening to myself, as I'm sure you are at this point. The volume today, it's strong. I mean, this is bullish volume. Now you can see, given yesterday, similar volume, stock goes up early, does that little horseshoe dipsy do. The pattern is not unlike what it did yesterday. It's just far, far more extreme. You smell fear in the economy, guys. People are having trouble with rent, car, food, and then the government shutdown creates a tremendous amount of uncertainty for not only government employees, but there's so many ancillary areas of the economy that are dependent upon government employees, government contracts, whether it be, anything from banks to restaurants. So you think, oh, it's just TSA that's not getting paid. Oh, it's just, I don't like ICE, so they're not paying it. No, guys, this is not how a healthy, functioning government works. And it creates turmoil in not only the markets, but in, households, kitchen tables, in addition to boardrooms. I think the pain, people here in the markets are just not feeling the pain. Finally, we're feeling it today. And you're waking up and maybe everything's not, as hunky-dory as we thought it was. Is the AI trade in trouble? Nvidia's down today, Palantir was down today, Hood's down today, everything's down today. And it's just an overall blanket of fear when you see these crazy EPS multiples. It's easy just to cut a few decimal points off and say, we're going to bring this back down to earth, because euphoric multiples are fine, when everybody's pouring money into the markets. Things are going to go up. But when fear takes hold, everybody runs to safety, everybody runs to defensive stocks, people probably rotating into banks, utilities. Look at what's green today. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. And all these names that were darlings up until yesterday are now, nobody wants to touch these things because they're speculative, they're risky, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys have to decide what to do. Obviously, my hat says it all. Buy SOFI, not financial advice, for entertainment purposes only. I'm obviously a buyer at these levels. I mean, I was buying the other day higher than this. So shame on me. They certainly fooled me. I didn't think it was going to, I saw the first retracement coming. I didn't see this big dip coming, to be quite honest with you. I thought they might push back down, closer to 30, but this is just extreme. For me, mechanics killing options, hitting stop losses does not outweigh. I don't think retail's going anywhere. I don't think, I don't plan to sell my shares. Maybe I'm completely delusional. I've certainly been accused of such, but I don't plan to sell my shares till $100. And I'm willing to go without right now and say, hey, I'm not going to, get a new car. I'm not going to take that vacation. I'm not going to eat out all the time. And, I'm going to put more money into these shares because I believe this is a generational opportunity. And I believe you're not going to get hurt in a down economy the same way a lot of other fintechs, lenders. I mean, if SoFi's charge-offs and delinquencies and stuff were going to balloon out of control, I think it would have happened already. Everybody was saying, "Oh, their credit quality is awful. They're just pumping the books." Some of these guys you heard, that were, very loud and sort of amplified when there was a lot of more questions than answers about the stock, and people were sort of questioning whether the profitability was real, the business was real, because it's still kind of tarnished with this meme stock thing. I think it's sort of, gone by the wayside more every day. But in my mind, this just has to recover because who's dumping? If you're going to sustain the price action to the downside, yes, we can't fight the market, but 2% versus 12%, that type of ratio is old SoFi. This is not new SoFi. This is not blockchain SoFi, crypto SoFi, great hair SoFi. My biological father not acknowledging me SoFi. That's the same old SoFi. I always knew my pappy was a CEO. You ask, how are you and your father the same age? I don't know. This is a bit, guys. It's a bit. Okay? It's a bit. Mrs. Noto, like I said, rest easy. You do not have a fat son you don't know about. But I'd be fun. I'm fun at the holidays, guys. Believe it or not. A little bingo wing action going. Bingo! Anyway, guys, don't make fun of me. I'm sensitive. All right, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm so tired of this broadcast. I'm tired of all of you guys. I'm tired of myself. Do I think we rebound from here, Danny? It certainly could take. Here's my point. Technically, not technically in terms of chart, just technically in terms of math, somebody has to sell these shares. Okay, yeah, the point sort of dumps some shares, but there's in a contractual deal, and it's really insignificant. 500,000 shares. I mean, you're churning what 80 some million shares already today, and we have a couple hours left in the trading day. So volume is just off the charts. I just think mechanics are digging in. Um, they're basically saying they're going to suck you in at 32, stop you out at 28, and send you home, with no rent money, trying to explain to the missus why you're such an idiot. And I have no answers. I have no answers, guys. I'm such an idiot because I was born this way, like Lady Gaga or Jennifer Lawrence or whoever sung that song. Anyway, guys, my voice is going out. I got to make some more tea. I feel about SMCI. Don't cry about SMCI. That's what I'm telling you. They're tugging at your heartstrings because you're weak and stupid. That's why they love you. That's why market makers love you. I know the dip is very painful, but I'm almost ready to start loading SMCX again. But I just want to see, how low does it go? Because if they want to keep pushing down, I want to try to buy the bottom. I don't want to cry about the low price. Look at the guidance they gave for next quarter, ET-Val. Think about it. If they go from 5 million to 9 or 5 billion to 9 billion next quarter, Mr. Market has to react to that. Mr. Market has to react. Fundamentals matter. Fundamentals have to matter at the end of the day. And SoFi selling off this hard after that ER, after, everything they're talking about for the near future, not the near future, the next sort of mid future, next year or two. I think everybody's underestimating the EPS ramp. I think SoFi is more than healthy. I think this is a massive opportunity. Up to you what you want to do with it. I hope you're not dumping here. I really hope you're not dumping here. Whether you're buying or holding, I don't know. There's a lot of fear. It could definitely go lower. It just went to 25. Could certainly go to 25 again. A lot of people are calling for 20. I don't think it goes to 20. I just think the growth is so far outpacing anything analysts really anticipate. And where the growth is coming from is sending more of that growth to the bottom line. So fundamentally, I think we're strong. Technically, could go back to 25. Certainly, I don't think it's going to. I think more and more buyers are coming in. I don't know the mechanics are accomplishing a lot. They're certainly killing a lot of calls, which I think, is the point. So I don't know. Don't buy weekly calls. I keep saying if you're going to sell them on the pop on Tuesday, buy them at the low on Friday, sell them at the pop on Tuesday. That's the best you're going to do. Anyway, guys, really appreciate you listening, watching, all of you. I don't know how many people there are. It looks like a hell of a lot of you. A lot of comments. I'll go through these comments, try to answer anything serious, leave it, and I'll answer down the comments. I just don't have time, guys. I can't read all this. I'm ADD from way back, so don't ask too much of me, guys. Don't ask too much of me. This is all I've got. I'm a simple man. Yeah, 20 would be insulting, but it wouldn't be out of the question. I mean, remember, you came off 7, you went to 32, 33% retracement, not unheard of, not out of the question at all. It's only money. If they have enough money, they can crash the stock as hard as they want. So don't panic if it happens. It's the same company, guys. It's the same company at 20 as it was at 30. That's the psychology. That's how they get you. That's how they take your money. They play on your weak psyche. They know you're weak. They know you're stupid. And most of you are also ugly. But I love you guys like a mother. No, seriously, you guys are all better looking and smarter than me. We all know that. You're all very important people. I'm just kidding with you. I'm trying to tickle your funny bone. Okay, guys. The SOFI stock is down a whopping $4. Wow. This is absolutely painful. But anyway, you got to buy the pain. You got to buy the fear, or else you just, this is no country for old men. This is no country for weak sauce turds like yourselves. I don't know. Yeah, this is a big dip, though. This is a little more than a dip. This is a little more than a shakeout. This is there's some money and some determination behind this one. So I don't know. I say hang on for dear life and get in the fetal position, hide in your closet, hide under your bed, hide under your desk, do what you have to do, pretend it's an earthquake drill, and just hope tomorrow's a better day, because today's tough. It's tough, guys. But I don't know. I don't have anything good to say. I don't have any silver linings. I'm not Bradley Cooper, guys. You can see. I look like I ate Bradley Cooper. Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. It's Un Poco Mas. It's Hurricane Lopez for Stock Karen, Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo, the Tugboat, DJ Patchy Drizzle, MC Al Dente, and the rest of the crew here at Un Poco Mas. We certainly appreciate you watching. Have a great day, and I will talk to you a little bit later when I recover from the psychological trauma I've suffered through the first several hours of trading. You guys have a great one. Namaste.